Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us for our final show of 2024. It's New Year's Eve. JimMotes.com is live. It was designed as a hub for all we're doing in our mission and ministry and has details about our new online community called Building and Becoming. As you enter 2025, I want you to know that just because the last digit of the year changes doesn't automatically mean that you will, but you can. If you're ready to get serious about growth in the new year, I encourage you to reach out to me or go to the website to get a link to the free trial to Building and Becoming. The trial period is free. Then after that, the membership dues are only $99 a month or $999 for an entire year. So why is there a fee? Primarily because without investment, there's no commitment. Without commitment, there's no growth. There's also no contract because I want to earn your attention, time, and investment every single day. And if I don't live up to your high expectations, then fire me. Follow along on all the socials. I'm most active on Instagram at RealJimMotes, and I do need you to subscribe to the Ministry of Freedom Show YouTube channel. Okay, on to the show. Today, Allie and I welcome back our recurring co-host, Mike Collins, as we look back over the last 364 days and look ahead to the next. Please enjoy episode 64 of the Ministry of Freedom Show. Recording, Al.
Hi.
Hello.
You guys recognize this cat? Been a while.
Yep.
We're all in the same room.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
How long's that been?
Long time. Year?
March.
10 months?
So it was March.
9 months.
Yeah. And this is what we're calling the final day of the year. So it's a couple days prior to New Year's Eve. The show comes out on the 31st.
All right.
So it's been an interesting year. So the name of the show today, did I tell you what we're calling it?
Year in review.
Boy, that's pretty easy, isn't it? No, we're going to go with Reflections and Prognostications because
I would never guess.
I want predictions.
Okay.
I want prophecy from you two.
I know he told me the name of it too, and I was like, really?
Yeah. Say the second word again.
Prognostications.
Say it.
No, I know.
All right. So since I have my laptop in front of me, just for the sake of the listening audience and you two who seem to not think I know what I'm doing, you're going to like this. Prognostications. You ready for this?
Yes.
Noun. The act of foretelling or prophesying future events. So that's what we're going to do. So start thinking.
Could have used the word prophecy. Prophecies.
Could, but then that seemed a little biblical.
Okay.
Are we given prophecies? I don't know.
What's the word again? Prognostications?
Prognostications. We're going to prognosticate.
I have never heard that word before until you told it to me the other day in the car.
I knew a week ago you were going to say that. I prognosticated it.
I think you like to use words like that to make yourself sound cool.
Moving on. I thought you were going to say to make myself sound smart. That word wounded me. I know I'm not cool. Okay, so we're going to look back.
All right.
And we're going to look forward. Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, I got a good scripture reference. It's nice and short.
I don't know.
I don't know why.
The Bible's pretty funny.
I don't even know what the hell.
Because he looked at me when he
Tell me,
said
are you entertained?
Proverbs 16, verse 1 from the Living Bible. We can make our plans, but the final outcome is in God's hands. So as we sit and prognosticate, we can think this is going to happen or that's going to happen, or here's our plans and here's our goals and all that stuff. And that's great. And it's prudent to do that. But you know what? It's going to happen how it's going to happen.
Yeah, we're not in control.
We got some say in it.
I don't really like that verse.
No? How come?
I think that people could read into that.
Oh, yeah, man. The sit on your hands people.
Yeah. Yep.
So the people that are stranded in the middle of the ocean in the boat and someone asks them, what should I do, paddle or pray? These are the people, I'm just going to sit here and pray. Whereas I say, pick up a paddle and do both.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do believe that there is I believe that God's hand is in everything. And that scripture for me, the Bible is either true or it's not, but some of them you do wrestle with. I do. So the final outcome's in God's hands. I think that's true, but I also think that He's given us tools, abilities, giftings,
We're supposed to.
our minds. We're supposed to get freaking moving.
Yep.
The answer to that, the riddle about being stranded like that, is paddle and pray. It's like you've told that helicopter story on here before.
Yep,
The people that are in the flood stranded on the roof.
Yeah. It's a helicopter.
Yeah, it's like, God, why didn't you save us? Well, I sent you 2 boats, a helicopter, a ladder, a freaking rope. What do you want?
Yep.
So, yeah, it is in God's hands, but we better pay attention. So we'll move ahead. I'll start. You cool with that?
Yes.
With my look back, I just was kind of going through things and like, okay, there's this here. So the audience can see this. It says big ass calendar at the top. That's next year's. Over there's 2024's big ass calendar. I'm a big fan of.
That's Jim's only time he swears, so he's gonna.
I'm gonna say ass a few times. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Okay.
I just find it really
But
funny.
that's what the calendar's called. I'm not making it.
No, I know.
It's an excuse to swear.
Yes, that's what I find so funny. And then when he does swear, he's like really puts it in. Like
Try. I'll emphasize.
Yeah, that S.
It would be worse if he said big 8 pound.
Yeah.
Can you cuss in T? Is it T9? Is that what it's called?
Dude. Okay.
Big capital A double pound sign calendar.
You know what? This is an accident. Those of you that are watching this on YouTube, those books I didn't just randomly place there for product placement, but in the shot they look just perfect.
Yeah, they've been there for what, 2 weeks?
So I moved them
Somebody
earlier.
did do it. It sounded like there was some thought put into it.
Allie, she thinks we need to sell some books. Christmas got a little expensive.
Pay for my lip injections.
Oh no.
We'll talk later.
Okay. I want to talk now.
Oh, go.
Your face seems slender. Have you lost some weight, or are you doing like some crazy makeup stuff, or are you
No.
working out? What's going on?
I've lost 10 pounds.
I can tell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was fat before to you.
You what?
I looked fat to you before.
No, you just look slender now.
Yeah.
But that's why you make up work like slender.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Saying slender before, but slenderer now.
Yeah. No, and no makeup on today. So I'm 10 pounds down.
That picture that you guys posted yesterday, there's less Allie.
There is. So this is crazy. The stuff that she's doing. So every meal is prepped. Everything is weighed on the scale. The workouts are crazy. I haven't posted her down here with her flexing on and all that kind of. It's freaking crazy.
But it's
man.
coming, right?
Maybe.
I mean,
I'm a little embarrassed.
self-conscious
Yeah.
about it.
But yeah, I am.
Well, everybody knows now that you're doing it privately to Jim. The Jim has saw you down there flexing,
No,
so it can be shared.
if you want to see my workout pics, join our app. So
Posted all of it in the building and
Buy the book, join the app.
yeah.
We need money. That's where the lip thing's going.
dude, they're more than you think.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I've lost 10 pounds. So I have basically eliminated alcohol from my diet. No sweets, no processed foods. I'm eating no more than 1,400 calories around that. So I'm really just fine.
Define basically removed alcohol from your diet.
I've only had alcohol twice in the last 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when she says twice, like 2 drinks,
Mhm.
not
No,
like
not
2
like 2
sessions
days,
of
2
20
days.
drinks.
Yeah.
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 Not
And
48 hours of bender.
Yeah.
yeah. And so, and I went over, and I've got a really good girlfriend of mine, and about once a month we do a girls' dinner. And she will cook, and I'll bring over the booze basically. And she made a roasted chicken, which was top notch. And I brought over some cocktails, and I made sure that the ingredients were good, and it was about 100 calories. And I made one single serve cocktail, and that was it. And on my birthday, Jim and I went out to a really great place, and I had a couple of glasses of wine. And those events are big for me. I like to drink. I like to throw back. I like to have a good time. Nope.
Yeah, it's been a game changer in every aspect of our
You can see it on
life.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel good.
Yeah, so I have a lot to try to keep up with, and it's very difficult for me because, I train hard too, but what do you do?
She's got every gram. She's down to the gram.
Yeah, Jim will eat something. I'm like, that's 2 servings. Like,
You know, I think it's funny is when Nancy and I will get to really counting grams.
Mhm.
If I like to go steal something off her bowl or plate, when she's like doing like you are 1,400 calories and like
Everything. Yep.
she normally doesn't care about sharing, but if she is starving herself and 1,400 calories and I go to take some of her food,
Nope.
I've counted that already. That's already
I earned that bite.
Yesterday, I came downstairs. I was upstairs watching the Chiefs. You know, part of my Christmas day was I wanted to watch some football up in the den. Came downstairs to grab me a snack. She says, "What you doing?" I said, "I was grabbing a snack." She goes, "Didn't you just have a sandwich?" I said, "I had a sandwich 2 hours ago. Now I'd like a snack." Merry Christmas. So thank you for the accountability.
I'm glad I got you on board with this whole thing, but
I fat shamed Jim.
All the time. So it's good for me though. So it's all good. All right. So my look back. You made her day, by the way. So
okay,
thank
all
you
right.
for that.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
My look back. So January started. I did this def reset thing. Remember, you did that thing with me.
Yep.
That was pretty disciplined and started the year the right way. I'll run through my list here so I don't forget anything. So def reset.
Yep.
75 hard.
Yep.
That was the coolest thing.
Yep. You did a lot.
Dude, I loved that 75 hard. It was so freaking hard. We have to do that together.
All right.
At some point. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to start tomorrow, but I'm going to need an on-camera commitment that in your 50s, you're going to do 75 hard.
Deal.
Okay. And how old are you?
56.
Okay. So we got time.
Yeah.
Birthday's in May?
July.
Right.
Close enough.
What day?
29.
Oh, that's right. You and Arlie are close.
Very close.
21st.
Yeah. All right. What else did we do this year? Published the 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
2 in a year is pretty crazy.
2's good. Yeah. It was fun. Pretty crazy learning that part of the business and stuff. And Allie got to hear a publisher call the other day when Lisa called when we were out running around.
Yeah. Jim's going to put his books up for some awards.
Yeah, it's award season. So the publisher will like, hey, this category I'm going to get your book in for, and this category for this. And so
So he's being humble about it. It's up for 4 awards.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll find out
the
soon.
reason I haven't mentioned that specifically is because if you win 0 out of 4,
Well, then he's a loser.
Yeah.
you just audience, you'll never hear of it again. Nor will you, Mike. You'll be like, hey, how those awards go? What?
What awards?
Have you been drinking? So we totally revamped the podcast.
Yep.
And I'm happy with where we're going and what we got going on with it. And that's been pretty neat.
Yep.
Getting this little basement studio built out.
Yep.
And we'll do more with it, but that's been pretty fun to do. And Allie's taken over the production part and all of that stuff. And we've had our trials and errors. And a few episodes ago when the audience couldn't really hear a word we were saying.
No,
First thing Mike says when he gets here is like, I know I need to talk into the mic because I saw that one
It's the
episode.
first episode.
Okay, you guys
Yeah,
sucked.
that sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the input. A month later.
A text would have been nice.
Broke. What else did we do? Cool. We got engaged.
Yep.
We're engaged.
Yep.
Seen Allie's ring?
No. Beautiful.
I know it's massive.
Yeah.
I like to fist bump Jim with it.
That's true.
Right on.
So it like hurts his hand.
Yeah. We started a online community that you are part of.
I'm aware.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
We plug that in the intro
Yep.
every show because it's cool. Build a website. We didn't build it, but we designed it. And Amy Dillard and her team, jimmotes.com. You check that out yet? I don't know if I told you it's live.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on. It's live.
So that's kind of cool. Other podcast appearances. That's been something different for me. So I was on one a few weeks ago and the dude starts out and I kind of know this guy. I've had a few conversations with him and stuff. And I really like him. And he starts his show, he goes, okay, we're going to get rolling, Jim. He says, hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm here today with Jim Motts. And I go, cut. he says, what's wrong? I go, well, that's not my name.
Yeah.
Oh, let's start that again. But that's fun. I'm doing another one later today.
All right.
So that's been cool. What else have I done? I have drawn closer to God. That's been cool. And that's because as has our family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been something crazy. Mostly a lot of this stuff, like the God stuff and the family life and the engagement and all that stuff, is I haven't drastically moved from kind of where my position was in all these things. That young lady has transformed her life. Would you have thought, let me ask you an honest question, and this is going to knock Allie a little bit. If I'd asked you 6 months ago, if you thought that Allie would go a month and have 2 drinks, what would you have said?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably
No.
not.
Yeah.
And
I don't think so either.
And I'm, for the audience that's brand new with us, have been sober for almost 22 years. And how much pressure have I put on you every single day to don't drink, you need to change?
No, we still have alcohol in our house.
Yeah.
We have liquor and
For
a
sure.
beer fridge. I mean, we have it.
Yeah,
It's just a choice.
Your choice.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm really happy and proud of that. The coaching stuff's been very interesting for me. We've got our building and becoming group. And so some dudes in that do one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
And so I have one guy coming over tomorrow morning. We do weekly training. I ever talk to you about this? He comes down, we train, and we do his meal plans and stuff. And then a brand new guy that just came on last week. We have a one-on-one, well, I guess a 2-on-1, because Allie and I are going to be on a Zoom with him Saturday night because he has a pretty massive target of weight that he wants to lose in 2025. And so we're going to design full meal plans for him, grocery shopping plans, the meal prep, the whole 9 yards. That's pretty cool. My number one thing as I look back for 2024, the first line I wrote here was, I have my life back. It's like we talked about the summit like a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
So I can see the summit through the fog of the last 23 months. It's like it's finally lifted. The thing that I will say, I'll preface this with, I was just in a Facebook kind of back and forth with a dude, good dude, kind of religious dude, very strict Bible dude that talked about if you say that life is hard, then you're just not close enough to Jesus. So I read that this morning and I thought, I can't let that go. Sorry. Yeah. But life's freaking hard. And anybody that wants to tell me that I haven't been through hard hasn't been around me.
Right.
Yep.
Well, you just don't believe enough. That's bullshit.
Yep.
More cussing.
Again, with a hard S.
But it is. Because that tells people that if they're feeling like life's hard, then you're just not a good enough Christian. You just don't believe hard enough. God just doesn't love you enough. You're just not praying enough. You're just not giving enough money. You're just not attending enough services. That's just not true. Life's hard. Now, we can experience joy in the midst of the hard. And that's where the Holy Spirit and the God stuff comes in for me, because I have experienced joy in the midst of the hardest season of my life. Not a ton of happiness for a season of that, because those are two different things. But as I reflect back on this year that we're finishing up, I would say that seeing the fog lift, seeing that I'm approaching the summit and how awesome it looks, and the fact that I never let go of God's hand, and I know he never let go of mine, that's a testimony to, if I can get through that crap, so can anybody. So that's been great. Anyone else want to talk about their 2024 before we move on to the big predictions and prognostications?
Allie, you go.
We lost 10 pounds.
I don't know. I had an eventful year too. There's a lot of hard times. There's a lot of angry times. But there was a lot of fun times. There's a lot of memories that were made. I had a really enjoyable year. No complaints, you know. Yeah. I learned a lot about myself this year, and I think that's really important. And I learned things that I like to do. Something that really sticks with me is you ask somebody what their hobbies are, and people are like, I don't know, hanging out with my friends or my family. And that's such a candid answer. But I really found that I like to read, and I like to make things, and I like to do puzzles, and I like to make candles. And I didn't know all these things about me or what I'm capable of. I like to be outside. I like to exercise. I like to sit in the quiet, which is so uncomfortable for people. And this year was a really big year about personal development for me, and I enjoyed all of it. And I developed a faith that I'd never had before, and that's been really fun to get to know that. And I also learned a lot about who people are this year, which was a really hard thing to walk through, to understand that. And something that I bring up a lot, I guess, is that relationships are so transactional. And that's my biggest lesson that I learned with people, is that nobody wants something unless they're getting something out of return. And it allowed me to set boundaries with people because I lack that. But yeah, this year has been wonderful for me. And I've grown as a mother, and I've grown as a partner, and I am just really excited for 2026. And
what about 25?
I mean, 2025, that's because I am signing everything on those Google Docs as 2025.
That's right.
So but I'm just so excited. And the people that are just like waking up and, well, it's just another day. Like, it's just another day. Like, it's so exciting.
Let's speak to that because I think that's good for the audience to hear. Because inevitably, whether people are listening to this on New Year's Day or they stumble upon this in 2 years, somebody that's listening to this show is one of those negative people. They're in their car. They had to jumpstart their car. It's cold outside. They're chain smoking on the way to work. Their defrost isn't working. They're already pissed off. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're sick and overweight and depressed. And they're hearing somebody say, "Hey, I got to work on my personal development and all that." And they just think it's BS. And that's not for them. And that's why they're stuck. The unstuck part of the process is just the decision. The rest of it will happen. But I would say to that person, just make the decision. Do you want to get well? Do you want something different?
Right.
That's the message of encouragement that I always try to give to the audience is I fell into the trap of, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. I used to for years and I still do. I consume a lot of that kind of content. And my mind instantly, it doesn't so much anymore, but it used to go to, well, those people don't understand my life. Those people that are throwing that message of you should lift weights and you should make time for your family and you should, well, you don't understand. You don't have a business to run and you don't have this. And that's easy for you to say. And I don't have the money to go to Whole Foods. And I used to think that the special people were the ones that were living lives that were a notch above just existing. And that's just not true. These are just average people that made a decision that they were sick of living less than. I got to a place where I was sick of living less than. Less than, this isn't a financial talk. It doesn't take a lot of money to focus on personal excellence. Does it take a little more money to buy the healthiest ingredients at the store? It does. That's a freaking shame. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's just the world we live in right now. Yeah.
That is true. That is a fact. But there's enough money to make a few better decisions.
But I want to speak on that for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, it costs maybe $2 more to buy the sugar-free barbecue sauce for us, for example, because we just had Sloppy Joe's last night. Instead of buying the Man Winch, I made our own sauce, which was 10 out of 10. But think of the amount of money that we've saved by not eating out or meal prepping our meals and stuff like that. So we're not like in a pinch trying to throw something together. So in the short term, it costs more money to buy the healthier options and do everything that way. But in the long term, you're actually saving more money, I would think.
I would agree. I think that's smart. And most people don't have the wherewithal to see it that way. But that's true. But everybody can make change. And I love that it's New Year's Eve when this is coming out, because this is the day, right? This is people's last day. I'm gonna fill in the blank. It's my last day. I'm gonna
smoke, drink.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat this chocolate cake.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 2025 is the year. I do know this, and I say this about drinking a lot. Everyone is going to stop drinking alcohol for real once.
Well, it's dry January.
Yeah.
That's the big thing in January. Nobody that's like, we're going to reset our bodies. And then in February, you're going to be a freaking mess.
Isn't it interesting that I think it's one of those inarguables. That's why they have dry January. People understand that resetting their system and their body functions better without alcohol. So they're going to be so disciplined that for 1/12 of the year, they're going to make good decisions. They're going to treat their body as a temple 1/12 of the calendar year.
But then in February, they're just going to double it as hard. You're going to be throwing up and blacked out. And oh my word, wake up and
Valentine's Day, everyone.
I don't want roses.
I want to rewind one thing.
Go.
You say you like to make candles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, all the stuff's over there. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a cricket back there, candles, all kinds of stuff. Why? What is that?
I know you just went through your list, and I was stuck on that one. You said, "I discovered I like to make candles."
So I'm going to say this too.
Earrings, the whole nine.
She didn't bring this up, but so Allie has a heart for volunteering.
Oh yeah,
and that's changed a lot of her personality and countenance at home and patience and everything else and perspective.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything change your perspective more than coming home from an afternoon or evening volunteering at a place
Oh
where
my
there's
God.
kids that are in despair.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And I've been volunteering at the Micah House, and that's been wonderful. It's a shelter for families, and a lot of these kids don't know how to read or write. And we did letters to Santa, and we put on a Christmas carnival. And the newest thing that I've been talking to Jim about is traveling abroad to do it. And I can pick how long I want to be gone. So it's from a week to 12 weeks. And you go over there and you work in classrooms with kids. I mentioned to him in passing about doing it maybe as a mission or signing up with this program, because I know that I need to do something that's impactful. I need to be a part of something that's really big. And we've got our coaching thing, but my heart isn't that's not solely for my heart. My heart is to help kids, because I grew up in a background where I wasn't helped and I needed other people to help me. And so I want to do that for children. And it's just been so rewarding.
Very cool. Yeah, I like it. Reflect back, Mike. It's before the prognostication.
Okay.
I don't even know what happened in your 2024.
Well, I was in New Orleans a year ago.
That is true.
Solar House in August. We closed pretty much March or April. I started hanging out in Iowa quite a bit more. We bought a house up here right at the very end of 23. So, man, just being back up here all the time around friends, family. I mean, obviously, you and I have communicated more in the last year.
Sure.
Yeah.
20 years before, or 15 anyway. And a lot of relationships. Like I talk to a lot of people now that I'd kept in contact with, but I don't know, it's been cool. It's actually been cool to see the family and working up here, just kind of like I never left. We trying to get work, like dirt work was what I do, excavation. So just like putting my focus to getting jobs up here. It's all been working out. It's been fun. It's definitely been a change year, but yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I love it. We were hoping that you would still be in New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
Right.
Is that where the Super Bowl is being held this year?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And by all accounts, the Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl for the third straight year.
I do have an apartment down there.
Yeah. Sorry, Al. The apartment's small. Might just be me and Collins.
Yep.
I think that's okay.
Yeah. You might be on your mission anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe.
Yeah. We'll see where LifeGate sends her.
Jim said hopefully somewhere warm.
Yeah. She's like, where should I go? Somewhere at the beach?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, there's needy people in the tropics.
There are.
I mean,
I was like, maybe I'll go to Africa.
yeah, no.
Soon, but
I'm thinking Costa Rica,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Argentina.
yeah, one of the guys that has helped me out a lot with work for years, he goes to Nicaragua.
Yep.
And they always need stuff. And he's got a church down there. And
our church has partnered.
There you go.
Our church partnered with different organizations in Costa Rica, all joking aside, that help children a lot. There's one called Hogar de Vida. I don't know what that translates to, but our church used to partner with them. They do incredible work. My friend Dave Ballard, who passed away a couple years ago, used to go down and they would help build hospitals. And it's pretty interesting. I always from fear just didn't go. I mean, I was like really close to signing up and I was like, I'm too busy or just don't have the excuses anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just been praying on it.
Yeah.
Giving it to God.
See where it goes. You ready to prognosticate?
Let's go.
This is the fun part.
Prognosticate. I have my prognostication.
Oh, go.
Okay. Are you aware of the Diddy stuff? Well, the alleged Diddy stuff.
Diddling.
Yeah.
You couldn't help but say diddling while you're.
Don't edit that out.
Yeah.
Because he's been, he's diddly daddling,
Dillying.
allegedly.
There, you have to say that, don't you?
At this point,
You have to.
You have to.
You have to say it because he hasn't been charged
He hasn't been convicted.
or convicted. He's been charged, not convicted.
maybe in court they have to, but here
Public opinion.
I've read enough. Yeah,
Okay.
I think there was some diddling.
I think that
Maybe diddled.
a lot of.
This prognostication.
I think Beyonce and J-Lo are going to be the next ones to get.
Hey everyone, Jim here. Thank you for watching the video. As a way to show my appreciation, I wanted to get you a free PDF of all 7 non-negotiables and the first week's morning devotionals from my latest book, Suck Cycle. I'm going to shoot those right over to you as soon as you text the word devotion to 402-250-7499. Thanks again, and back to the video. What do you think of that?
I don't think that women are as depraved as men and do as weird as stuff.
There's
You're
pictures.
so wrong.
There's
I thought
pictures.
you were going to go with
No.
women are just as depraved, but they
No.
won't get charged.
I don't think there's any chance.
Beyond or
J-Lo and Beyonce have a
my
12-year-old that they drugged and raped.
J-Lo was there the night that
I'm
Jay-Z.
not saying she hasn't been
She
involved.
witnessed it, and then she was there when Diddy shot that chick in the club in the face, and then she got charged with a gun. She is.
Oh, I understand. I'm not saying women can't be accomplices. I'm just saying
They throw a
Right
strap
there.
on and they just rape them.
Any comments about that?
no coming back from that.
Nope. So,
You believe that Beyonce
so one
has drugged a
evening,
child, threw on a strap on, and raped him.
That is my prognostication.
that they will be arrested.
Yes, that there will be charges.
I believe they to be apprentices, but I don't
Accomplices?
accomplish.
All right.
You think they're going to get charged?
All right.
J-Lo seems like she was around for a lot of it.
Yeah, she's mean too.
So we'll go around the table
Okay.
and we'll prognosticate and comment. You can make the next prediction for it can be personal, it can be political, in the entertainment world, whatever.
I think by the end of the year, Elon and Trump are no longer friends.
Okay. That's
I think that the egos are going to have a collision.
yeah, I think that's quite possible. I get that. You have any
I
thoughts
hope.
on that?
I mean, I hope that they can continue to work together and do stuff. But
I'm not nearly as political informed as I should be, so I don't want to speak on that.
Okay. I don't disagree. I think that's probably likely. If I had to put an amount of money that mattered to me on yes or no, I'd put on yes. They have some pretty serious conflict. Yeah, I get that. I have one. All of the January 6 defendants will be either paroled, have their sentences commuted, and all of this, they will all be freed, charges dropped, and all of that nonsense will finally be behind us in the first quarter of next year.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. I think there's like of all the cases I've seen, there's only been about 5 people that should have ever been charged.
I think that's probably close. The problem I have with most of that is there's people that have been in jail for 3 years that have never been charged.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
In
That
the
goes
United
against our
States,
rights. Yeah.
what are we talking about? How is that even a thing? So I think that needs to be addressed immediately. Now, if there's people there that are on camera and they have weapons or they're assaulting somebody or, okay, then charge them. I mean, people are killing folks and being out in 8 years. I mean, so if they've been in there a few,
Right to a speedy trial.
yes.
Yeah.
Get it done.
So that's my thing. And I put a time frame on it on the first quarter. So I think by the end of March, that's going to be
I
put
think
behind
day
us.
one, Trump's going to alleviate all of it. And maybe not all of them, but I think he might just do all. It might just be a blanket deal.
You got another prognostication? If not, we can skip you. Anything personal, like goals, or you predict that you're going to do blank, or maybe it'll be a mission trip, or
Oh yeah, I will do one mission trip in 2025.
okay.
Yeah, that is my goal.
If we get married out of
Prognostication.
the States, could that be a mission trip?
What?
So taking a trip to get
Married.
Yeah, I mean, you're leaving the country.
Well,
But did you hear
put a
yourself?
roof on a hut while you're there?
Yeah.
You can.
So you want to go to a third world country?
No, he wants to go to Grand Cayman, stay at blank, and stay on the beach. And then he wants to count that out of the country. Jim is just nervous with me leaving the country.
Nervous to leave the house, and he's came a long ways. That's one of my things. I'll not future past yet. The fact that Jim goes out.
I think that I have a lot to do with that.
Change in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this year we took. Have you seen Santa's Rockin' Lights at Warner Park? Have you guys gone there yet?
I recommend it.
Take the grandkids. You have?
Uh-uh.
No, take the grandkids and go see that. They're open until the end, till the 31st.
Right.
And it's this drive-through thing. It takes about 30 minutes, and you sync your car to the music, and it's amazing.
Nighttime deal.
Mhm. Yeah.
That?
It's at Warner Park in
their
Pavilion.
parking lot.
Yeah, go do it. They'll love it. And I took Jim and Arlie, and I made Arlie sit in the back seat. And I was like, Arlie, because this is about Jim. You've seen it like 5 times. Jim's never,
It's crazy.
Jim's never seen anything like this in his entire life.
I got the freaking.
He's got his phone out.
going.
His head's out the window, and I was like, Jim's never experienced anything
There's
like.
some cool stuff outside, dude.
Pretty cool.
Well, and then we were watching
fun.
Christmas movies the other day, and I was like, "Is this the most you've ever watched Christmas movies?" And he's like, "Yeah."
I also can't believe you went Black Friday shopping.
Dude, I freaking loved it. You got to do this. You should see this freak show.
I saw.
I can't wait to go next year. Now, I might be the only one roaming around Penny's with a gun.
Probably not.
But I'm like, well, I told Al, I said, I'll go, but I know there's crazies. I'm going to carry. She said, I know. You just.
What time did you leave the house?
5:15.
Yeah.
Right on. You did Black Friday then. That's.
So we were on store number 4 when the sun came up.
Yeah. We got up at 4 a.m. Jim did his Devo time. He's a wild card. Jim's crazy.
It was
We have a lot of freaking fun.
This was cool. So about 10:30, we're all done. And we get home. I'm like, it's 10:30.
And we'd been to like 5 stores. So we go upstairs, we dump all the presents out in the den. We put on football. Jim's watching it and I'm wrapping presents.
We had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a fun Christmas season for us. This was very cool.
I'm going to do a mission trip, but that doesn't include us leaving the country to get married.
Got it. Go.
I cannot with you.
Oh yeah. You know what? I am going to, what do I got?
You got anything morbid? Like, oh boy, this could happen. Or because I got a couple morbid ones I'm going to throw out.
I'm going to just pass that and go ahead.
You can't pass. You have to make something up then. You have any goals?
Morbid. Give me a morbid. I might go to, speaking of going overseas, I might go get the stem cell stuff done. I might go to Panama.
For what? Why specifically? Like, why do you want stem cells?
I have horrible knee. I mean, the one is completely shot.
Oh.
Get a knee replacement.
So Panama does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's stem cell therapy here.
Yeah, but it's not
but it's not. They haven't okayed.
I mean,
the
morbid.
real
I don't
stuff.
know if I'm going to get stem cells from fetuses or whatever. I mean, whatever reason they
So
don't
you're
do
okay.
it in the U.S.
You just plug you with
if
some
there's
stem cells.
if there's
I hear you.
already a dead fetus and I can
if
take some positive from negative.
So if a dead baby can get you more comfortable knees, then that's where we're at.
I'm not willing to start eating babies like some of the rich people do here in the U.S. But yes, if they're
I haven't heard of this. What?
Yeah, so apparently there's a pedophile ring amongst the elite who also like to eat children, thus the secret fountain of youth that will keep them in power and alive for 150 years.
Who?
I don't want to say.
Who?
We'll talk off air. You'll know them.
Who?
Well, you don't want to talk about the living, so let's just say Warren Buffett's ex-partner that died.
Yeah.
Is Warren Buffett the guy from Omaha?
Yes.
So his ex-partner.
Oh, he was gay.
If you look him up, no gay. He just ate babies.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look this dude up when he was 50, when he was 90, he looked much better.
correct.
He did
Skincare.
finally die.
Speaking of skincare, I made a post today that you probably haven't seen yet.
No, I haven't.
Let me show it to you. This is what I got for Christmas.
Okay.
So I'm taking the hint.
Yes. There's hints going on at my house too.
You remember the eye patches, Mike?
I do.
That's one of our most viewed shorts of the year.
Oh my God. Nancy's like, you think you could start taking care of yourself a little?
Oh my God.
And when we got married 5 years ago, you looked much better. It's like, could we possibly just? Yeah,
Dude, it's tough to
for
keep
the year.
up.
Here we go. Yes, I will look better. This
Okay.
time next year.
All right. I love that.
I'd like to come back for next year's show.
There you go. And stay on
I
that
will be more
microphone.
physically fit.
Scream
I will
into
be-
that microphone.
I will be more physically fit and look better.
All right. I like
Be a
that.
dye job in my future.
I like it. Okay.
I am dead.
Down 40 pounds and brown hair. How's that?
Now, I just want to specify, because you brought up Nancy. Are you saying Nancy will be with someone with brown hair who's 40 pounds lighter? Or are you saying publicly you will become?
I'm saying if I want to hang around her,
Okay.
I should probably do it because this time next year, Nancy will be with somebody at least 40
Understand.
pounds lighter.
Okay.
She's drawn a line in the sand.
Sand.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you ready for mine?
Yes.
I believe that there will be a 9/11 scale attack on our homeland before summer's over, so before Labor Day. And I think it will be attributed and blamed, and rightfully so, on the failed border policies of the last 3.5 years. And I believe that the perpetrators of this attack are in the latter planning stages, and could unleash it at any moment that they desire.
So I'm going to tie into that.
Okay.
I 100% agree with you. I have text messages I can share, but I think that whole drone thing on the East Coast, I think that those have monitored. I think they're looking for radioactive material.
So
already in the country.
Yes. So are you familiar with this?
No.
So
I think that's why the government keeps just saying,
yep,
nothing to see here.
Let's speak to that. So from a prognostication perspective, there are drones that have been sighted mostly in the Northeast, large drones that aren't like little kids out messing around. And the government is basically saying, no, those are always there, and that's just this, or that's
nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's
we
just
can't tell you why they're there,
yeah.
But
it's the worst case of gaslighting that's ever been attempted. Of just, oh, you're not really seeing that.
All up in New Jersey.
Yeah, they're like, no, it's right there. No, you're not seeing that now.
Swarms of them, and they're huge. They're
so
8 foot across.
Wow.
Here is the government's number one method right now to search for radioactive material is from drones. And why would that technology be necessary? Because people can't be roaming around with freaking Geiger counters trying to find radioactive material. They already have knowledge of dirty bomb nuclear material that has made its way into the ports on the East Coast. I also will back up to say that they targeted where they wanted this material to arrive. That's why that bridge got hit in Baltimore, because Baltimore was the largest port of anything coming into our country. And it's also super freaking secure. So in order for whatever actor this was to bring this material in, they had to shut down the port of Baltimore to get it in. So it's look over here, while we're bringing material in over here. I believe the material is already here. The intelligence community knows that the material's here. They know it's on the East Coast. They understand it hasn't been unleashed yet, but they're relying upon these drones to be sensitive enough to pick up where it's being hidden so they can find it prior to this attack that is freaking more imminent than people think. And it's going to be people are going to look at 9/11 like that was nothing compared to what's coming with this not biological, but it'll be a nuclear type of attack.
Any type of dirty bomb.
And the material's here. It will be a dirty bomb. The material's already in the country, and they're flying drones around to try to detect it. Is that me being a crazy person, or is that a realistic prognostication?
I don't know. My daughter reached out to me and said, what's the deal with these drones? And I thought about it for like a couple hours, and I gave her that response. And then literally like a week later, somebody was online. She found somebody online saying that, yeah, that's what they're doing. You know, they're looking. And she's like, send it to me. She's like, great. Now they're going to, I'm like, at least it's the East Coast.
I said the day.
Keep it to the blue cities, please.
Yeah. Well, the day that this happened in Baltimore with that bridge getting hit, I said, this was no accident.
Yeah.
We're watching the news. They're like, this is a horrible accident. I said, that's lie number one. This is not an accident. Watch this ship.
Well, it took them forever to get down there too. Like it was so delayed. Nobody tried to rescue.
How do you not throw this thing in reverse? I mean, even if the steering broke.
Right.
It's like nobody was on the ship and it just ran right into it. And then, yeah.
Yes. It's not an accident.
Yeah.
These are coordinated things. And for people to put their head in the sand about this, it's going to be a mistake. And this is a type of thing to where, well, Trump's going to save us all. He's just not.
Because he's just a man.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So that's my wah kind of big picture for our country. Now, I don't know how that's going to impact the country. Obviously, not great. But what I'm glad that we're going to have an administration that's going to be very reluctant to, I believe, martial law type of situations. Hey everyone, Jim here. Thank you for watching the video. As a way to show my appreciation, I wanted to get you a free PDF of all 7 non-negotiables and the first week's morning devotionals from my latest book, Suck Cycle. I'm going to shoot those right over to you as soon as you text the word devotion to 402-250-7499. Thanks again, and back to the video. And government overreach, and I'm hopeful that when this happens, if it happens, it'd be great if it didn't, obviously, but if something like that happens, obviously containment's a big deal, and hopefully it isn't another power grab of our rights, and because we're still suffering the effects of 9/11.
Yeah.
Go to an airport.
What about this bill getting cut down from 1,500 pages to 150?
I've never seen anything like it in my life. You see this? I had to do a double take. I'm like, this can't be real, right? And are we supposed to think that people were reading those bills prior?
They've never read them.
Not one.
No. They get memos from their staff of the item that you asked for. The pork that you requested is on page 1,326 if you want to review it.
Yep, that's it.
It's in there.
Yep.
Don't worry. Tell your buddy that, or go ahead and order the private jet. Money's coming.
Let me ask a couple things from an economic perspective. So, stock market. This year was a phenomenal year of return for the stock market. Now, December hasn't been great.
Yeah.
A little bit of a rebound this week, but as a whole, this has been and I don't know the exact number when you combine the S&P and the NASDAQ and the Dow. I know what we're invested in and things like that. This has been an 18 to 21% type of a return year, which all in all is pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that not tenable as we move into the next year?
So obviously, I've been preaching, we're on the
cliff,
financial cliff for quite some time. And then I finally did do some rethinking of factoring in the dollar. And we kind of discussed that on a show before. So if a company was doing $1 million of business before, if they're doing exactly the same 4 years later today, they're doing $1.5 million in business. Just because the dollar devalued, the services went up, the cost of goods went up. Yeah. So their business hasn't increased, but their bottom line, their total dollar revenue has. Then obviously in big companies, we're talking billions of dollars. Yeah. So that's part of why the stock market keeps going up, because a lot of the stock market is tied to revenue.
Yeah.
So
it's also tied to prognostication. So the market right now is a reflection of what they believe is going to happen in 6 months.
It soared after the election, and then now December
it has fallen off in December. Let's talk about rates. So interest rates, I don't know what they've done this year. I think maybe it
came down some.
Was it 0.75? Something like that. Now I think they're talking about holding there and a slower decline as we go into 25, maybe another quarter point. So I think the market doesn't like that. I think they like if the Fed comes out and says, hey, we're going to lower rates even more. So I don't know what that's going to hold. I do think that my prior prognostication about the 9/11 scale attack scenario affects that
market
drastically. So I don't know. We'll see how that stuff goes, but the market has been strong. I don't know of anything in the last 2 years that could match being in the market. But again, if the cliff comes,
it'll always bounce back. I mean, even if everything is too high now,
it's a time thing. Yeah. What about inflation? So Trump's going to take office and inflation's going to go away and eggs are going to be cheap again and gas is $1.50 and let's just go out and burn money and party.
No.
Back to the dollar. I mean, it's the dollars that are in print. You can't bring them back. And we talked about that before.
Yep.
4 out of $5.
You can't undo it.
Or print in the last 4 years. There's no undoing them. It's not like a stock where you can buy back your shares.
That's exactly
no dollar buyback.
No administration, no Fed policy can unscramble those eggs.
Yep.
That inflation, that inflated numbers here, and it's going to stay. We were shopping the other day, and this is really weird. I'm a weird guy at Whole Foods, and we don't go there that often, but for certain things, we like to go and pick up a couple things. I used to shop at Whole Foods all the time, and they've always had these hot dogs that I like, and they've always been in the same section of the store. I'm talking for 10 years. I remember a few years ago buying them, and they were $5.99. I remember it specifically. When we were there wandering around the other day, I didn't mention this, but I glanced over and looked at them. Same pack of hot dogs, same branding, same everything, same section of the store. $9.99.
Yeah.
And I thought, so we're almost double for hot dogs. The thing, the big dupe on the average person that's out there working really, really hard is if they compare to 3 years ago, think they're skinning it. So, well, you know what? 3 years ago, I made $14.50 an hour. Now I make $20 an hour.
And they've only increased it to keep up with everything else. They're not really making any more money, but they're spending more.
Their disposable income, however, is less than it was 3 years ago, but they're duped into thinking that today they're in better shape. They've been stolen from and they've been lied to.
Yep. And they're spending it like they have more.
Yeah, because I'm going to live like somebody that makes $20 an hour now.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
The lower you are on the income scale, the worse that the last 4 years have been to you, no matter what. Rent, housing, unless you happen to get a rent locked in or housing locked in.
Yeah.
4 years ago, and gas still, cost of food. Yeah. The things that people have to have.
Yeah.
Those are the items that have excelled the most.
Yeah. I wonder to myself how somebody has 2 kids, 2 adults in a house. Let's say that their income's, let's call it 150 grand. And I think they're doing
the money. Yeah.
Right. How are they, if they have what's that person pay for a mortgage payment with taxes and insurance? $2,500? I mean, can you even live? I mean, $3,000 mortgage?
Dude, it's getting
car. What about car payments?
If they bought the house 5 years ago, yeah, they might be on a $2,500 a month mortgage if they've had to buy in the last couple years.
Let's call it $2,500.
Yeah.
What about car payments? You know what the average car payment is?
$600.
It's higher. It's over that, but it's pretty close.
Oh,
it's in the mid 6s now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so when I still had a car payment, it was like $650, and then I was paying $1,800 a month for rent.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't include car insurance and your groceries and like that. And that $1,800 was for a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
So let's say that couple has 2 cars, $1,300.
Yep.
And so the $150,000 household, are they killing it in life?
No.
What's their savings look like?
Probably not.
Non-existent.
It's non-existent.
And a lot of families are having to work 2 jobs. Like they have their normal 9 to 5, and then they might have like a weekend job where they're waiting tables or something because they can't afford it.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful that some of this starts to catch up and turn around, but the inflation, I just don't know. If the economy's strong in this country. Yeah, there's metrics that can point to our economy is very, very strong, but the metric of you're making 150 grand a year as a household and you can barely get by is the only metric that matters. The rest of it doesn't matter.
So the best thing that we can hope for at this point is that the job market's strong, which creates increased wages. You know, when we're searching for employees, we pay more.
That's right.
Yeah, because you're eager. You need to.
We
need inflation to stop, and we need wages to come up.
Yep.
And like I said, 4 years ago, $15 an hour minimum wage, a living minimum wage, was on the table all the time. That's off the table. And I've seen people saying now it should be 24. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just imagine when we were younger and a $25 an hour job. I mean,
I didn't know anybody then. So let's go back in the day. When I first met you and Todd and those guys, you worked at Vickers, remember? And you guys were the richest people I've ever known.
Yep.
You worked at a union plant. Do you remember how much you made?
Todd was probably making like $18 or $19 an hour.
And dude, that was 30 years ago.
Yeah. Top pay at that place, though, for the guys that had a lot of time in, was like $26 an hour. Wow. So that was huge money.
Huge money.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And that was in 93.
Yeah.
I was born that year.
And now
you guys are old.
Thus the skincare.
Yep. And in 1993, Jim thought I was really old.
Yeah. So I remember when I had that revelation, and it's been like 2 years ago, where I'm like, wait a minute, dude. How does a man go from being 18 years older than me to being 3 years older than me? Have you been
that math ain't mathin'.
Manipulate this space-time continuum? What have you done?
Are you eating babies, Mike?
And I saw one of these things online where it's talking about for us today, 1990, if we were talking to our grandparents in 1990 and they were talking about 1955, that would be the same as us sitting here today talking about 1990.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Math's stupid.
It's broken.
It is broken.
Can you imagine? I mean,
no.
I remember my dad talking like in 90 talking about the 50s. I mean, he's talking about, we had a black and white TV and they came out with this thing where you put it across the screen and it had blue on the top and green on the bottom. And then obviously it didn't work all the time, but sometimes like on a Western, it would be like there was a blue sky and grass.
Yeah, man.
Did you have to use that too, Jim?
I saw one in my grandfather's home. Yeah, you put it in front of the TV. Yes. I had a black and white TV in my bedroom when I was a little
Do you
kid.
remember the very first remote clickers that like
Yes.
actually made a clunk noise when you pushed
Yeah.
them? Like the
Really?
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, changing the channel was Mike change the channel. That was how you turned the TV channel.
Yeah.
Mike, adjust the rabbit ears.
You know, so,
Go get some aluminum foil and put it on your rabbit ears.
you know what I was thinking is
Hold them. Stay right there. Here's me holding the antenna with full TV. Don't move. So I'm supposed to stand behind the TV and hold the antenna.
when I was in high school, so I had a classic car. So in 1988, I got a 1972 Chevelle. And I'm thinking about that now, thinking that car's 16 years old.
Yeah.
So what was 16 years ago from where we're sitting right now?
Right. You're talking 09.
Right. That's not a classic car, is it?
Not a classic car.
An 09?
Yeah.
What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
got me an 09.
Got me an 09.
Yeah. Camaro.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. All right. So prognostications. I got some more stuff on here, but I don't know how interesting it is. The conflicts in Ukraine and the Israel nonsense they're going to end pretty quick.
Yep.
Opening the door for China to further their aspirations of taking over Taiwan.
Yep.
That'll change the economy a bit
Sending
too.
weapons there as fast as they can here
Yes.
through now in January.
That's exactly it. Yep. All they can to arm these freaking warmongers. It's crazy. I've had this overwhelming feeling that in 2025, I'm going to be delivering eulogies. And I've never done it in my life.
Oh, yeah. You've been saying that a lot.
It's been freaking me out.
I hope it ain't mine.
Well, me too.
All right.
But I mean, I'll do it.
Okay. Well, I'll mark you down.
So that's
I'd like to say a few words at my funeral, man.
so in
I'll
all,
do the whole thing, but some. Okay.
I'll be like, it's too bad Mike wouldn't have lost that 40
That's what I was going to say. He never dyed his hair brown.
He's laying there
Why?
gray.
Why wouldn't he get the blood pressure medicine?
I'd be like, hey, when you're embalming him, do something with that. Let's make his hair brown.
Does that mean because Nancy kills you?
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah, she probably have to watch on like a computer screen from jailhouse. Letter.
Tablet time.
So as far as me being old, you don't know this about me probably. I don't do doctors. I don't have a doctor. Like if Mike, who's your physician? I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't have a GP either.
Same.
Mhm.
I won't play the game.
So I've recently started taking a pill for
What is it?
arthritis.
You got the arthritis?
That's the arthritis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Where
So
specifically?
I'm so anti doctor and whatever.
Yeah.
I finally went to a doctor. I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, you got arthritis and all this. Like I knew I had it in my knee because the cartilage is gone.
Yeah.
They call that osteoarthritis, but like my toe, my hands.
And you can get it in your toes?
Yeah.
And it's debilitating.
Yeah.
Is the pill helping?
I'm feeling better. I'm actually feeling pretty spry. I don't know if you noticed when I came in. But
You were jumping around a little
I was
bit.
starting to get to the point where like coming down the steps, I would like kind of stop and look at them. Like, shit,
I got 3 more of them.
who built these stairs?
So here's kind of where I'm at from a health perspective so I'm up about 5 and in the morning, I got to tell you, I am springing out of bed. I am raring to go. I'm like Christmas excitement every day. I'm got my prayer time. I'm ready to train and I'm feeling pretty good throughout the day. I'm pretty caffeinated. So that's kind of my vice, right? And I take a pre-workout. I drink a big cup of coffee and a pre-workout before I train.
Mhm.
So
Can I speak at your funeral?
so my pre-workout,
Some chance you're stroking out.
my pre-workout has the equivalent of 5 cups of coffee in it. And then, so I'm pretty good for hours and hours. Now, when about 7 p.m. rolls around, I'm just a freaking zombie, dude.
Yeah, he crashes.
So when's your last caffeine dose of the day? When do you cut it off?
Oh, about 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So about 4 hours
But
later.
that pre-workout is no joke. It feels like your skin's
I got some for Allie, and I told her, go ahead and do the full scoop.
No, don't.
There's a warning on it
Yeah.
that says, if you're not used to it, don't do the
Well-
full
Almost
scoop.
died from
Okay, so I had started doing this pre-workout
It's
before.
not like ephedrine, dude. It's caffeine, and there's other taurine and good stuff in it.
I had started doing this pre-workout before Jim was doing it. He was finishing his other one. So I was taking full scoops before he was doing the full scoops. Why didn't you tell me that this was like this to me? He said, oh, I didn't know. And then so the other day, Jim went down and he took a full scoop. He said, yeah, this full scoop is no joke. I'm sweating and I feel like I'm coming out of my skin. I'm like, I told you.
Yeah, it was a very methy feeling, dude. and I hated it. And I couldn't come off of it.
The hair growing,
Yes,
feeling.
I couldn't come off of it for like 4 hours. I'm just like going, I want this to stop. And I'm like, so I'm just going to cut the dose a little.
Yeah.
We're in New Orleans. I was drinking a bunch of energy drinks. This has been a few years ago. And Nancy, we were going down, get in from work at like 5 or whatever. And I'm like, let's go down to the gym. And she's like, you want to try this new pre-workout? So I'm drinking a Monster at the time. And pre-workout, on the other hand, freaking chug that down. I go down, we work out, and my heart went into like this rhythm that I've never had. Like I went up and we're like making dinner. I always make dinner. I'm like, hey, could you cook? And I go sit on the couch and my heart is like fluttering. Like I Google caffeine, freaking overdose. And
that was it.
Oh yeah. I go in there, said take a cool shower and whatever. I go in there and please don't die.
Yeah. I've seen that where people do like the those energy drinks that look like a lightning bolt. You know what I'm talking about? And then they take a scoop of pre-workout, and I'm like, how do you do?
Yeah, they're freaking weirdos.
I love a tolerance. I mean, it would kill me today. Like I used to drink 4 or 5 energy drinks a day. I don't drink any now, but yeah,
no way. I do have a prognostication. I think that we're going to have 100 people in our coaching thing.
Really?
By the end of next year.
So I love that. I have a couple of those I didn't read. Some prognostications, some personal ones.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over a couple of those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's a great target. 1,500 YouTube subscribers.
Yep.
We're going to get married.
Yep.
Grand Cayman.
This year?
Grand Cayman.
Yeah, in 2025, October.
Shooting for October.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We're going to elope.
Yeah.
Just Gemini.
All right.
Also, so
I'm just going to go to Grand Cayman the entire month of October.
all you got to do is wander 7 miles. You'll find us.
Guys.
I wouldn't be mad.
We're like, nothing.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing here? Nothing. Third book.
Yep.
Third book.
We're in the process
December
of it.
7th.
Okay.
Publishing date. I'm throwing it out there to the public.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're working on it as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy's birthday is December 8th, so just in time.
Okay.
Just in time for her birthday.
She can have a free copy for her birthday.
All right, perfect.
So there's that, and we'll throw that out there.
And December 7th,
I just
Pearl Harbor Day. Why?
It's
Yeah.
the 7th. Really?
Yeah, and it's on
So
7th.
7th.
Yeah, so the number 7 is very important to me, and I got this. This is a weird one. So I'm very serious about my prayer time and my journaling and all that kind of quiet time, those types of things. So this has been something that's really been pounding me. This is weird that I keep having this impression. I'm going to have a critical decision point as I anticipate a lucrative job offer to return to the auto industry, while at the same time, the trajectory of the other stuff we got going is finally starting to kick in and give return. I think that's going to be an interesting decision point as we go into later 2025.
That's something that God's speaking to you now?
Yeah.
That's going to happen in 2025?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's one of those things because, well, is God talking to you? Jim, it's not like that for me. But there are impressions that if they're recurring and they happen in your prayer time and stuff, you're like, wait, I should pay attention to this. Let me write this down. And when it starts being a recurring thing, I'm like, I'm going to pay attention to that.
Because it's so cool. Once you become so open to hearing the Holy Spirit speak, you can tell the difference between this is me who wants this or this is God directing me this way, which I think is so neat.
It is cool.
If you ever think about jobs in the car industry again, it definitely would have to be not life consuming.
No.
That would have to be, I'm just saying right now, your ask, obviously money, but time.
Yeah, for sure.
Never ever a 90-hour week job again.
No, that's for sure. Actually, as I was preparing for the show that I'm going to do here in a couple hours, this other guy's show, he sent me some prep questions and some things to ponder. And one of the things that I was unpacking as I'm typing my notes to myself is just the sacrifice that was actually made for all those years.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous and probably unnecessary. I think I sacrificed to the point of diminishing return. It was just too freaking much. And at
least you got paid. There's people that if you'd have never got an ownership share, there's people that do that management job and never get the bonus money.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, here they are 20 years later
with nothing to show for it.
fat.
Well, and keep in mind that I wasn't going to get any kind of a ownership opportunity or shot or anything. We had to build it.
Yeah.
So they shut every freaking door they could in my face until I made it. They couldn't deny it anymore because I built something that I offered them an ownership in.
Yeah.
And that was the difference. Now, I know a lot of people still in that organization and in other organizations that are being a little bit strung along with the hope of maybe someday down the road, if you, and I look at them because I know what that hope feels like, and that hope keeps you sacrificing and motivated. And that's part of the manipulative charm of that whole thing. And I was a pro at it. But to see people that are really buying into that, I'm like, sit down and get something firm with some time constraint on it.
Yeah.
I'd like to know at what point we can revisit that, not just if you feel like it down the road. If I'm here 15 years and we have this kind of growth, would that allow me to? So I encourage people that are listening, no matter what field you're in, get a career path laid out with the people that are signing the checks.
Yeah.
Let them know, here's what my goals are, and this is why it would benefit you. I'd like to know so we can mutually pull on the rope together so I'm not strung along.
Yeah, well, that goes into all aspects. Weight loss.
Yeah.
If you want to lose 15 pounds, you can't just be like, I'm going to lose 15 pounds at this time. You have to have a goal in place, goals that you can actively track on how you're not, I'm going to eat just as many calories. I'm going to work out these days. So you have something to actively work at and check off the boxes for. But if you just know that in so many years you're going to be part of this business, but with no way to track your metrics, then it's never going to happen.
Because somebody said you might.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you're talking about is process.
Yeah.
Focus on the process rather than the result. What processes do we need to walk through? So the end of that is I get my stake in this. I get vested in some fashion. So there's a real net worth building opportunity for my family and I, rather than I put in 70-hour weeks for 25 years. And if I didn't save anything, here's your 401k and see you later.
Yep.
Because that's how it works.
Yep.
Right.
So I would encourage people to really take a look at that as you go into 2025. And there's nothing wrong with it. I also wrote a book called I Asked God to Kill Me. There's a section in it called The Exchange that lays out how to sit with your employee and say, I need to make sure the exchange is fair for both of us.
Yep.
And any employer worth their salt is going to be like, I appreciate this conversation. I want to give the right people opportunities. Let's sit down and make it happen.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We all good?
Yeah.
Hey, so for the normal audience, this is all you get. But for those of you who belong to Building and Becoming, I encourage you to belong to our online community. We talk about it in the intro to the show. There's going to be an overtime where the three of us are going to sit out and get a little more candid and raw than we have been. That's only made for the people in our community. So jump on, join us. Till next time.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. You stuck around till the very end of the video. And you know what that says about you? It says you're different. It says you're not average, and it says you see things through to the end, and I appreciate that. As a way to say thanks, I'm going to give you my personal cell number, and I want you to text the word closer to 402-250-7499. And don't be sharing that number with people. It's between you and me. Now, after I receive that from you, I'm going to reach out to you personally so we can connect. I appreciate all you do for us, and thanks again.